Hi, welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. Whew. I have 5 weeks left of school, and I am counting them down. You don't even know. So anyways, that's 24 actual school days because we actually have one day off, which is a Monday, Memorial Day. So I've got a couple things to talk about, not overwhelming. I'm still playing my video game. I actually finished the video game, the storyline, and now I'm going back and doing all the loose ends so that I could try to get to 100%. I got a Amazon package today waiting for me when I came home, so that was so cool. Actually, 2 of these arrived a few days ago, and then the rest arrived today. So I have 2 books to show off. I love showing off books. So I have another book in the New York Review of Books, and this one is called Season of Migration to the North by Tayeb Salih. And we want to pause and look at that. I don't know anything about this, but someone reviewed it, and I didn't read the whole review, but they were praising it. And I trust this book company, and it's something out of my wheelhouse. So it's about Arabs and Africans in North Africans in Europe, and I guess culture shock and not feeling wanted in their homeland and not feeling wanted where they are and that kind of thing. But it was published first in 1966, which is just a couple years before my birth, and it's just being translated now. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. So I'm definitely interested in reading this, and it's pretty short. So let's hope I can actually do it. Now, another book that I bought was from this series from Oxford, and I love these. So this one is called the Mabinogion, or maybe it's like that. I don't know, the Mabinogion, and it's got a pretty cool what do you call that, embossed look to it. So I guess these are Irish folk tales. I don't know. I haven't read them, but another book in this series. This is only my second. The other one I have is The Great God Pan, and I actually have to finish that because it's short stories. So just beautiful books. So there you go. I'm gushing on about the 2 books that I got. Let me put those to the side. I also got 3 in this series. I'm so excited. I love these little albums, vinyl replica CDs. So I'll start with this one. So this is the second that I have by Mink DeVille. And the first one that I have was from the series. I blind bought it from the series, and I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to listen to this one. So you got your little Obi strip, and you've got the front and the back. And the inner sleeve is just white, so I'm not going to pull it out. Then, what was nice is it came in this, and it says The Legends of Rock. Limited to 3,000 copies. That's probably a lot. And then I got 2 others. So I got the Blue Oyster Cult. Now, I actually just showed this album, and then when I was looking, I like the album, and although I do have some problems with the lyrics, but I do like the album, and I like the artwork. I got it for $10. I showed it. And then all of the Blue Oyster Cult ones in this series are sold out almost. And even though most of these are $10, right? But this one was $15, and I just decided to get it before it went out of print. So there you go, double dipping. And this one has the really cool inner sleeve, just like the record. If you want, I'll show you the CD. I know you want it, right? So there you go. There is the vinyl. These things are so cool. There you go. Hope you can see that. So yeah, I really enjoy this series, and I started late, so a bunch of them are out of print. But slowly, I'm gonna try to get some more of these as I go along. And then the third one that I got is 38 Special. Maybe it's their first. I don't know. So I haven't really opened this one up. I got them all today. So the back sleeve is like that, and there's the... So they mirror what what was on the original albums. Oh, this one is an A&M. There you go. Like I said, the one problem that I have with many of these is that they don't have bonus tracks, although some of them do. So they're not like, for example, the one that I got for Record Store Day. It was basically all bonus tracks, which I found out later. I'm going to put my face again into the screen because I'm moving those over there so I don't knock them down. All right. I also listened to, what did I listen to this week? So I've actually been doing a lot of listening to my albums because I'm doing a series where I'm trying to prune through my records, and one really nice thing that's come of that is many of the albums that I'm showing, VC members are chiming in and say, "Hey, I wouldn't mind having that album." So I'm setting it aside for them, and when I get a few, and when I buy some vinyl mailers, I need to go to Target or whatever and get some of those. Where do people get those anyway? I think Target, right? So I'm gonna buy a bunch of those so that I could just send out some VCLT. If you've asked for an album, I like I said in my comments, I want to wait until I get 5 or 10 together so that I can just mail them out in a group instead of one at a time. But the Pressing Matters reviewed Doris Day, Latin for Lovers, and I've been listening to that as much as I can this week. I've been listening to it at work. My computer hooks to a stereo system that goes throughout the room so that when I show videos, there's a projector and stereo, and the sound is actually pretty nice. It goes through the whole room, and so when I don't have any students in there, I can put something on in YouTube, and the sound system is pretty good. So I've actually listened to that album a few times at work, and of course at home. It's a very nice album. I like that style of music. I don't think it would be for everyone because a lot of people actually don't like the old crooners, but I do. I really appreciate them, and so I've been enjoying that album a lot. I'm gonna cough. Okay, so I listened to something else. What did I listen to? A couple CDs. I can't remember. I put things on repeat and then I listened to them. But I did get through 2 books this week listening to them. So I'm gonna show you what the books are. So the first one is called The Coming, and this is by Joe Hildeman. Now, if I'm correct, I've read one other book by him, and it was The Forever War. And I absolutely loved that book. It had some really cool ideas. It was all about time dilation, not time travel, but time dilation. And I was excited when I don't know how I found out about this book. Maybe it was I don't want to speculate. I can't remember. But man, I just like this book intensely. So it was written in the late 60s, and it's about the future. And what happens is a scientist finds a signal coming from possibly aliens saying, and all it says is, "We are coming." And we have the technology on Earth to triangulate it, that it's a signal coming from deep space from a craft that has come out of like hyper whatever what's that, hyperdrive, whatever, and so they're slowing down so that they can be at Earth and deliver a message. But all the message says is, "We are coming." And then after that, so it was a really interesting premise. Like, what is the Earth going to do? It has 3 months to decide what to do. So, you figure, politics and world religions and governments, like what's going to happen. Now, this book, like, it took that premise, and that was the very beginning. And then it doesn't go back to the aliens until I looked at it 69% through the book. It doesn't come back to that idea. It starts to become some kind of detective story. So they focus on the main scientist, is a female, who found the signal, and people, I even forget who, some clandestine people, I think, in the government. They don't want the idea to get out, so they're trying to bury it. And so what they do is they start investigating the woman, and they find out that her husband has my dog just tripped over something, has homosexual affairs. And so the rest of the book, they're like targeting him and trying to basically out him in the public, or blackmail him. And I thought, and it was bad. It was like, it seemed so homophobic, which was strange because the other book I read had some gay issues in it, but it didn't seem that way at all. But this one centered on the fact that in the future, they're still going to be persecuting homosexuals. And I had a real problem with that, because if he were forward thinking in late 60s when he wrote this, and he's writing about the future, and he couldn't look ahead and see that, society might change. Okay, that's fine. But then over half the book on that, when this is about the coming of aliens, I just did not understand this. And then when it finally got back to the aliens, it was wrapped up so fast and the ending was very unsatisfying. And I don't want to give it away, but I don't recommend you read this book at all. It was trash. And I'm usually very nice. I'm very forgiving to writers and authors. But to squander your premise like that, 69% of the book, not even about what the book is about, I don't know. If any of you've read any books by him, can you chime in? Because this book sucked. So let's get to a book I liked. And in fact, I'm going to tell you that while I was listening to this book, I was getting it. It was like the second or the third day. I didn't even want to turn it on. I started listening to music in the car, and that's rare because I like listening to books in the car while I'm driving. But I was dreading this one. It was so bad and so boring and so off topic. All right, I think you get the fact that I did not like this book. Okay, so the next one is the fifth book in the Parker series, The Score. And I've liked all of the books, and I liked this one. This one was really good. So this one was about Parker gets in with a group who want to basically hold up a town. They want to do it in the middle of the night when the town will all be asleep. And the town is boxed in. So think about canyons on each side of the town, kind of, and only one road leading in and one road leading out. So they have to plan it so that they can hit the fire department, the police station, anywhere that communication can get in and out. And they have to hit all those places at once to stop it. And then also hit the bank and the jewelry stores. And again, it was very complex in showing how crime works. And of course, when it focused on the personalities of Parker and other types of criminals, it was very well done. Now, early in the story, Parker's he's Peter Parker. His spidey sense went off. His sense went off saying, look, there's something wrong with this. But he kind of ignored it. And then, of course, later that became a big problem. I won't tell you what the problem is, but yeah, they come into some problems in the middle of it. And then the group has to get around it. So again, there's, problems with books like this because of maybe the misogyny, the way women are treated. But I always say, you know what? It's not the writer's fault. It's the character in the story. I'm not sure that the writer really reflects the character, but let's hope not. Okay, but such another great entry in the Parker series. So that's my fifth one, and I've already put on hold the next one, which is called The Jugger. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. So there you go, the two books that I read. And to be honest, I'm almost done. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that happened that I saw online. So there was a high school video where basically the students around the high school were showing off their school. It was probably a promotional video, right, to get more people to join their high school or whatever. And it was in the middle of, I don't know, like Vermont or Iowa. I don't know, somewhere where everybody's white. And it's basically everyone around the school, hey, this is our gym. And then they would show the gym, and this is our music room. And the school looks gorgeous, right? It's huge. It's beautiful. And everybody online was going ballistic because, they were saying, look at how, like, what these white kids have and blah, 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 blah. So it's a very interesting debate because people, are attacking this school because they actually have a nice school for their students and they have nice things for the students at that school. And people are attacking them because they're jealous, because either they never had that or their own kids don't have that. And it's a very interesting idea, right? Do you put them down because they have it? They're students, right? They're kids who are getting an education. Or do you go after the system of inequality where one set of students could have this and then another set of students can't? And I don't know, it's a very interesting thing, but everybody, like so many people online, were attacking them because of their white privilege and showing off their school, and it's kind of funny. All right. Another one that I saw, this one was really gross. Okay, so there was a teacher or some kind of administrator, because she was walking down like a kind of open area in the school. She was walking away, and she had taken a student's Nintendo Switch. And he ran up, she didn't know it, he ran up behind her, and he was huge. He smashed into her. She went flying onto the ground, like from the back, flying down, and knocked unconscious. And she was sprawled out, like almost lifeless. You could see she was just lying there. And he commenced to beating on her head. Like while she was unconscious, he was repeatedly striking her in the head. And meanwhile, adults are running around. They're not helping her. They're just kind of like going, somebody stop him. And I'm going to get back to that in a second. But finally, someone dragged him off. And as they were dragging him off, he was kicking her repeatedly. She's unconscious. He was kicking her repeatedly, like in the ribs and in the side, and her whole body's jerking. Now, I don't know what happened in that case. Like, I didn't follow up with it, but man, is the video shocking, right? This big, huge kid, because, not using his cell phone, but using his Nintendo Switch, the teachers want to get him to stop and start, paying attention. And man, he just wailed on her. And jumped on her. She didn't even realize it. Jumped on, knocked her out, and then just commenced a beating. It was shocking. I thought she'd be dead or like in a coma or something for sure. It was horrible. Now, what I want to get back to is this. So at my last school, this happened twice. The kids were fighting, and a teacher, jumped in to stop them, and the kid punched the teacher in the face. Either, I think one time it was intentional, and the other time it was accidental, because did like that. And in both instances, the teacher's glasses flew off and were broken, right? And so, and the other time, the teacher got I think hurt their neck, and they actually got to stay out of work for a little while. But there was no reparations. So I don't know about you, but my glasses, they're actually pretty expensive. They're really expensive, like $300, maybe a little more, because I'm old. I have bifocals and tinting, so I go and I have medical, and they will pay a certain amount, and it ends up being $40, $50, and I have to pay all the rest, right? So if a kid were to break my glasses and I weren't reimbursed for that, like that would all have to come out of my own pocket. So number one, teachers are hesitant to jump in because kids who do these kind of things, they don't often get in trouble. Usually there's a whole group of them, and they might get the main one or two, but all the other ones who are joining in, nothing happens to them. And then if something gets broken or you get injured, I mean, you might be able to take off work, but you're not going to be repaired, like if your jacket gets ripped or anything like that. And so teachers are hesitant to jump in because, for example, like if I saw two kids fighting, I got to think, well, I could get injured, and it's just a sad state of affairs when the kids are, misbehaving, and you're worried that you might do something wrong and you might hurt a kid or something, and you're going to be liable, and there's all this, and then you won't be, reimbursed if something happens. Like, like what if a tooth got knocked out or something? Like, it's scary. So I can see why the teachers there are hesitant to jump in, especially when this kid was like a Hulk, and all the adults around there, if they were to grab him, he would easily knock, if it was one of them, he would easily knock that teacher off and start wailing on that teacher and then get back to the other one. But finally, it took like a group to grab him off, and he was still kicking her. It was crazy. So that video was just insane. If you search it up, you'll see, like, it's just crazy. And then another one, there was a substitute teacher, I think, or she was a teacher, I can't remember, and she was trying to get this cell phone away from a student, and the student freaked out and just started attacking her. And this is becoming more and more common. I was talking to some teachers today, and I'm teaching 9th grade, so I'm teaching at a high school, and the teachers say, the 11th and 12th graders are worse than the 9th graders, because a lot of my kids, they're on the cell phone and you can't stop them. Like, as soon as you try, some of them, they'll begrudgingly put it away. Others, they just ignore you and they keep doing it. And then still others will hold it up and shake it in your face and laugh and just keep playing. Like, they don't even care. And so I lost my train of thought. So I was talking about the cell phones. So those are the 9th graders. So I've gone into other, like, 11th and 12th grade classes to cover classes, like if a teacher's absent. And the 11th and 12th graders have, they've seemed very well behaved compared to the 9th graders. And then so I was talking with the teachers, like, oh no, try to get them to do any work and they turn like that. If you tell them, hey, I need you to put that cell phone away, I need you to do this, they say nope. They instantly become very belligerent, and you could see that in the videos. I think we've lost the teaching war unless something changes. Like, I'm telling you, I'm in the classroom and I can't get the kids off the phones. And so many of these kids, for example, in my 9th grade classes, they have 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade reading levels, and they're not doing anything most of the year to improve that. And every time you try to get them to do something to improve that, they're on their phone or they're playing computer games, and you just can't. It's like a losing battle. We need some kind of educational reform that's going to take care of this, because I don't think that people really realize how bad it is in the classrooms. Now, it's not like that 100%. There are many, many students who will listen to you and who will listen to the lesson, but there's a huge chunk of kids that won't. And I'm seeing it getting worse and worse each year. If you are a teacher, or you know about this, or know someone who is, please chime in. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this. And I'm at 25 minutes. This is like one of the shortest ones I've ever done. It's because I haven't been watching too much. I've been playing my video games so much. I haven't been reading any comic books. I've been focusing on my video games so much. But that is my Friday night chat for this week. I'm so happy it's the weekend. I've got 2 days off. I've got a lot of rearranging to do in my room. I still need to go through so many records. But yeah, I want to, again, as always, I want to thank you for your support, and please leave comments below because I love to know what you think about the topics that I've spoken about.